Ellie has gone by probably almost dozens of aliases in the past. I don't know if that's an overestimate, but it's probably not that far off.
Just Ellie, okay.
And you don't really know where. And it forces you to have to board watch at a point in the match where most players are trying to at least get a quick foothold before having to make that hard call somewhere.
Yeah, just the random DT setup in the middle of the board for Gyan doing exactly what you just talked about. We're going to see Gyan at the early back-to-back advantage, but they're at the top of the board, and so this isn't looking good. There's the break, and Ellie has to receive. Things are looking pretty normal for both sides right now.
Oh, the lovely overhang as well on the dono from Ellie, but sudden spike from Gyan, and that board is just perfectly too tall, not able to launch the counter spike.
And now we see a center 4-wide from Ellie.
Dang, we really live in a timeline, don't we?
Yeah, and it didn't.
That was also that was like
really
the worst
work.
cue for 4-wide. That was so tragic.
Yeah, it didn't really work out there, but you know, we're moving on from that. And Gyan with the 39, the 42. The 42 from Gyan out of nowhere is gorgeous.
Yeah, I think because of how long that 4-wide took to downstat, Gyan had more than enough time to realize I can just kind of find the multiplier with all this additional time to build this out, and find the multiplier Gyan definitely did on that match.
And that's going to be some messy garbage on Ellie's side as they do have to break their back-to-back. Gyan up at the top has the eyepiece to get out. Neither player having the opportunity to build back-to-back as of right now, but both of them are going to be looking to do that in just a moment. Gyan, the clean well, is going to have a couple of T-spins set up as Ellie is forced to do some more skims.
Yeah, and one thing as well that I will point out, and again, I know like Ellie is like relative to what we're seeing in top 8, 3.8 is on the kind of more moderate speed end, but Gyan has been under 3 pieces per second for a good portion of this round, and I think may likely continue that trend given how strong this has been working.
Gyan building up the back-to-back as Ellie is still forced to skim. Gyan breaks with a 17 spike, and Ellie with the defense, the down stack. It is so clean. Gets their eye spin. Love to see a good eye spin.
Right, early search spot from Gyan, but
and now we're going to see some messy garbage. Look at that. Look at that messy garbage on Gyan's side. That's not going to be easy to deal with here. And might give Ellie a bit of an opening to build that back-to-back. And they're building up that quick 5-4 stack in the middle of the board, getting some mech heart shapes going to try to get that back-to-back advantage. But the S misdrop from Ellie is going to cut their run short, at least for that back-to-back sequence. And is that a Trinity?
That in fact is a Trinity.
Okay.
The 3 T-spin doubles there from Gyan into the mech heart shape, launches thirds on top of it, and you can see a decent bit of cheese over to Ellie's board. Oh, and Ellie as well, fighting back with a fair amount of... Oh, this is a really nice well for Ellie. Gonna take all the garbage, let it rip. Is not able to secure the KO. Gyan has enough defense and proper timing left in the tank. But there is a misdrop trigger. Actually, on both sides. All right.
Gyan forced to break.
14 Scourge. We are starting to see the soft dropping.
Right.
Take its full. There's another misdrop. And that damage is going to start to do a little bit of extra.
The near 3-minute round there, it takes all of that for Ellie to get their first point. And I will point out that Gyan was concerned about their stamina to start this off. So a 3-minute round is probably not what Gyan wants. Probably wants some quicker rounds right now. If I was in their shoes, I would want this.
Yep, and shoutouts to the Vanilla DT opener from Ellie. And I know we're seeing some pretty clever openers from Gyan as well, but DT is also quite a bit of an opener. I think one person restreaming might be a little happy with that one. All right, and the surge timing while Gyan is working on the down stack evens things up 2-2.
It looks like we missed a King Crimson. That is unfortunate, but we'll maybe see more. We already saw Trinity. I hope to see some interesting triple T-spin setups right here.
Oh, I think that's the is that the, well, not really King Crimson, but definitely the swag tower from Gyan. Yep. And I will say, like Gyan, like I know we've mentioned the clever creative openers, however else we can phrase it. Gyan do love the T-spin triple towers quite a bit. Most of the openers that we'll end up seeing will have some option for a T-spin triple tower. Not always that Gyan will go for it, but basically anything that Gyan starts with, there will be a T-spin triple tower somewhere. Board willing, essentially.
Yeah, Gyan with definitely more plonking than Ellie's doing, but Gyan sees the early -12 on the board. They have access to that well, though, so you have to assume they're going to try to find something, and that was well-timed there from Ellie, but Gyan survives for now.
Ooh,
Doesn't they have the piece to get out? Yes, they do.
That was a bit risky. I do think if Ellie would have sent just a little bit more garbage, that might have been enough to turn the round.
That was almost like, on my side, that looked like it was a little ping action where there was desync and that worked in Gyan's advantage, but not quite sure exactly what the players are seeing. Their timings are probably a little bit different than ours.
Yeah. Again, sometimes the desync happens, it is what it is. That's quite an imp cross setup from Gyan. Was not able to get the full multiplier on a combo, but definitely got quite a bit of extra garbage in the process. And found up, and there we go. We see yet another. Oh, and opts for the Z-spin continuation to hold on to Surge a little bit better. And I think just the kind of the cleaner continuation off of that Trinity, given how it was kind of awkwardly on the side of the build. Again, I know 2.9 is like fast by any means, but like it's crazy that it just looks like Gyan is like theory crafting half the time.
Oh, it totally does. I mean, they're taking a lot more pauses than you see most players take, trying to think about their queue, trying to think about their board. I mean, you don't see it too often, but I honestly wish more players would do that. Think about what's upcoming, take a moment to look at your opponent's board. It's hard to remember in the moment, but very crucial. However, Ellie's back-to-back is starting to become an issue for Gyan, as the -21 sits at the top of the board. They're going to try to alleviate this.
I was going to say, yeah, Gyan did have a decent bit of surge as well on their own board. Unfortunately, Ellie's able to kind of strike first and take the offensive stance, and I think Gyan's kind of like avoiding that win condition would have been forcing Ellie to pop on the defensive, which again, like, Gyan did have a little bit of surge to play around with, unfortunately just did not get to a good opportunity to utilize that.
And Gyan up at the top with some misdrops is going to give Ellie the 2 point.
All right, no early O in this current build. We are seeing the T-spin single into fractal, into kind of fractal still, into some all-spin from Gyan. And I guess we're just, okay, but there was no continuation, so Gyan just decided to tank it and figured out what to do with it later.
Yeah, and that's going to give Ellie the opportunity to build back-to-back right now, but their board is a little bit awkward. They are forced to break up at the top, not the follow-up that Ellie wanted right there, and that is going to give Gyan the opening for the point.
You know, I don't think I mean, unless it was mid-game and I completely missed it. You know, we had comments to a specific style of, well, it is an opener, but a specific double triple style. That'll say a little near and dear to my heart. Wow. Okay. So that just worked out. And we are still tied up 5 games apiece. Yep. Also, by the way, in case anyone's wondering what the shape is for a BT, you're welcome. There you go.
Oh, nice. Of course. Gotta love the emotes.
All right, settle plug.
An STSD setup from Gyan looks like it is about to kill them.
Yeah, again, the room for down stacking is running out, and the ammunition on Ellie's board is just growing stronger and stronger by the moment. All right.
A little bit of a miss drop from Ellie to start it off, but it's not going to be too consequential.
I might have half been intended. I'm not sure. At this point, there's too many all-spin options that it's so hard to tell whether it's intentional or whether it's like, no, I've just made this so many times that I'm aware this is an option. Whether it's your first option or your third option.
That ice spin doesn't really work for Gyan. Yeah, they're going to have to break Ellie up at the top with the 26, and that is just going to be, it's a little bit of an awkward round, but it is Ellie's round.
Yep, and you can see with Gyan holding on the Surge being that high up on the board, did not want to let Surge go first, but was already in disadvantage and unfortunately just kind of had to face the reality of it sometime, sooner rather than later. Ooh, nice ice spin single there from Gyan. Okay, almost takes a little bit long building up that center. Was a bit nervous whether or not we were going to get to see that build.
The combo from Gyan is great there, but that doesn't actually send any messy garbage onto Ellie's side, and Ellie's just able to continue building. Gyan gets into the first well, but is not in the best spot. Ellie, now up at the top of the board, has the well open, though, is able to send some attack, but Gyan down at the bottom has the ability to accept this right now, and if Ellie sends clean, this could be an easy spot for Gyan. Though they're not. The all-spins do generally prevent the clean from sending.
TSP set up there. And that works really nicely into the garbage underneath. Love that setup from Ellie.
Gyan with a little bit of
plonking. Oh yeah, Gyan right now is just... And I mean, look at this again. Just like playing slower, having more damage sent as well, just being incredibly efficient with the pieces that are kind of at Gyan's disposal.
Imp cross setup from Gyan. They break to see the -9 at the top of the board, and Ellie's going to continue all spinning, has an ice spin ready to go, and trying to build that back-to-back gap right now, but Ellie forced to break. The 24 spike, Gyan up at the top, doesn't have the pieces to get out, and Ellie is bringing this closer.
And that was a really great adjustment as well. Was like debating like, this is only about like 4 lines, like this might be worth it for me to tank and just keep building up that surge. And then you could see the moment that Ellie recognized that eye multiplier was there and just immediately let that entire spike go.
That was such a cool
of the
start.
entire...
Whoa!
Yep, Gyan, understandable. Have a nice day. Unfortunate. Unfortunate, it had to be you, it had to be somebody.
I mean, just the way that Ellie started that off, the opener was so cool, found the PC, continued to build up that back-to-back, and then, wow, what a lucky PC at the end there. The double quad PC is very, very cool.
All right. Gyan is looking for a little bit of joy out of this build. Builds the T-spin triple tower, builds another on top of it. And there we go. Farming the T-spin triples, but unfortunately, the mix drops are going to get in the way. And I think right now Gyan's just looking to have fun after that recent round. Honestly, might have been able to take it if the surge had gone with those T-spin triple spikes, but I don't know entirely. I didn't have the best eye on what Ellie's board was looking like.
Huh?
And now Ellie
gonna
take one out of Gyan's book. Gonna do as the Romans do, as they say.
That's
and build
the
a
most
T-spin triple tower.
TST tower I've ever seen. Like that shape is just I'm glad that. Because what was that?
Yeah.
You're
happy it's not optimal because you're concerned if what TL is going to look like if it is.
Art, like in TETR.IO, that whole thing just was not real in my mind.
Congrats, you've exited the Matrix.
Oh my god.
All right, well, we got a little mech heart pattern potential for Gyan. Works it into a nice spike, but Ellie as well, very strong on this board. Not going to be phased by that. One has a lot of all-spin potential as well on the board. Back-to-back still going strong. Launches it in one fellow swoop. Is Gyan able to find a down stack? Tries desperately, but not able to. And Ellie with 11-6 is going to earn the right to face off against Tiki in losers quarterfinals. It'll be again seed 9 going up against seed 5 for losers quarterfinals. Congrats to Gyan for the top 8 performance, as well as some plenty of clips of their own as well. But Ellie going to emerge victorious, and we are now at our top 6. Gohan and Vince, the 2 players on our winner's side, both players undefeated, although Vince with the very close scrape by upsetting Turtle in 11-10, thanks to no deuce. And on the loser side of the bracket, we have Vexry coming through with the loser side to play against Turtle, and Ellie off of that tremendous performance that we just saw going up against Tiki next.